Alright, so my initial plan after not putting out a post-Oregon game video because I was busy was to talk a little bit about that game at the beginning of this video, and then I was planning on getting into maybe some of the positives and what we saw from a win against UCLA, but obviously that was my thought process before the UCLA game, and so now I'm not even going to really touch on the Oregon game. Well, maybe I will, but clearly after last weekend, some things have changed. Yeah, so after the loss to Oregon, the following week, Penn State was looking to come back, get some confidence, and have a good win against a really bad UCLA team. And instead, we lost to one of the worst teams in all of the Power Four. I'm just going to jump right into it. This season has very quickly turned into a season that nobody imagined, and I couldn't have seen this coming at all. I know what everyone wants to hear. You want to hear me talk about James Franklin. You want to hear me talk about playoff hopes. Where do we go from here? What's left of the season? So I'm going to jump into all of it. Starting off with where the team goes from here and playoff hopes, I don't think there are any playoff hopes at this point. Technically, Penn State can win the rest of their games this season and they'll make the playoffs, but that includes a win against Ohio State, which after the Oregon game, I didn't think was going to happen, but I probably could have convinced myself it might happen, right? But after this UCLA game, there's no hope for them. There's no way they go into Columbus and win, let alone playing Indiana, even playing at Iowa, and even Nebraska. I mean, realistically, any team, like we just lost to UCLA, we realistically can lose to any team. We play Northwestern this weekend, and Northwestern beat UCLA. I definitely think we're going to, I think we're going to beat Northwestern, but I mean, any game at this point technically is a toss-up after that. So the season is technically not over in terms of we can still make the playoffs, but if I'm being totally honest, there's just no way. The season is definitely over. I don't see how any of those wins that we need are going to happen. I don't see how this team is going to rally back and I just don't see how we're going to go on a run and win all these games like Indiana, but especially that Ohio State game. And it's honestly sad. I was so excited for this season. I had talked this team up to everyone in my office, everyone that I'm friends with, on my Twitter account, and even on this YouTube. I've talked them up. Even when they haven't looked good, I've defended them, I've believed in them, and I'll always support Penn State football no matter what, right? I'll still support this team even this year, always. But man, this season, what a letdown, and it's only week 6. Penn State started out ranked number 2 in the AP poll. We then dropped to 3, we then went to 7, to now by week 6, completely unranked, which is just unheard of. And frankly, it's embarrassing. Penn State has already been somewhat of a laughingstock in the college football world of being that team that can't get over the hump, but, you know, at least we had the fact that we don't lose to bad teams. We just can't beat the really good ones, but now we just lost to a really bad UCLA team. So we don't have that anymore, which takes me to the topic of James Franklin. And yeah, this is rough because I've been a James Franklin defender for a long time, and I've understood the criticism, I've understood the hate he's gotten, and yeah, I get it, I've gotten all of it, but I believe that he was going to be able to get it done when there was the right circumstances, when he had that team, when he had alignment from the top down and the NIL money. There's no juggernauts in college football this year. And not only does he not get it done against Oregon and probably going to be Ohio State, who knows, Indiana and these other teams, but Penn State just lost to an 0-4 UCLA team who just fired their head coach like the week of that game or the week before that game, fired their offensive coordinator as well. And he was a guy who looked like he was 17 years old, calling plays as a first-time ever offensive coordinator. He even said he had 2 days to practice on the headset, or not even on the headset, just 2 days to practice the plays and the new offensive scheme. He's never called plays on the headset in his life. He didn't even know how to work it. He was pressing the wrong buttons half the time, and he just outcoached and beat Penn State's entire staff, but especially Jim Knowles, our defensive coordinator, the highest paid assistant in all of college football. He just got schooled by this guy who's never called plays in his life. And it's embarrassing. Back to James, like I said, I supported him forever when there's a lot of people who didn't. He's a great guy. He wants to do everything the right way. I like what he stands for, and overall, you can tell that he's a genuine, nice guy. But I think it would be best, and I don't even like saying it, but I think it'd be best for him to part ways at the end of the season. His buyout is $56 million, so Penn State's not going to fire him. They just can't afford it, but it's to the point where, does he even believe in himself? Like, has he hit the ceiling at Penn State? It seems like it, and it's just never going to get done, and that's the reality. I really think him and Penn State should come to an agreement at the end of the year if they can, for both parties to just move on. I think it's ran its course, and I don't know where it goes from here. James has completely lost the support of pretty much all Penn State fans at this point. Up until now, it has been, a lot of fans on the Fire Franklin train, and there was a lot of fans who also liked him and wanted to keep giving him chances, me included. And you look at the conversations now, I see little to nobody defending him, to the point where even national media, they are all saying they think it would be best for him to move on and for Penn State to move on, which has never been the case where everyone is saying it, right? A lot of people have been always saying it, but there's still that other side. It was pretty 50-50. It is almost 100% at this point. Everyone agrees. I don't even want to talk too much more about it because I don't even know what to say. It's just, it is what it is. I wanted him to succeed here at Penn State. I wanted him to get us to that elite status that he wanted, he talked about. I know he wanted to be the first African-American coach to win a national championship and all these aspirations he had and he talked about when he first got here. I wanted it so bad for him here at Penn State, but I think the writing's on the wall at this point. And it honestly somewhat hurts me to say that. As silly as that sounds, I really, really wanted him to succeed here. As the head coach, you're responsible for everything, right? You're responsible to make sure that there is a good defensive game plan and step in if you need to, and same thing offensively. On offense, why is Nick Singleton still getting more carries than Kaytron Allen? Kaytron is averaging double what Nick Singleton is on average yards per carry, and he's getting slightly fewer snaps and handoffs in each game, and it just makes no sense. We've seen no improvement from Nick, and every time Kaytron shows that he's the better back when he's out there, and it's not like they're splitting carries or even, no, Nick is somewhat getting a few more, and there's no explanation for that. There's no reason why they would be doing that. I don't understand it. Kaytron, everyone's been saying it for weeks, Kaytron needs to be the number one back, and by a wide margin. They shouldn't even be splitting carries evenly. Wide receivers didn't look great at all. I know some of them had some decent plays, but UCLA stinks, and overall they just weren't that good. Luke Reynolds at tight end had a horrible game. Khalil Dinkins had a really bad game blocking as well, and he's usually really good at blocking, so that's doesn't make sense. And then the offensive line, they're still struggling. Drew actually played pretty well in this game. The loss definitely isn't on him, although he's of course going to still get a ton of hate from people online. He played pretty well. This loss had nothing to do with him at all. There's a lot of players who aren't playing at the level they need to, especially at linebacker. On defense, that defense was horrible. But to me, this is on the coaching. They didn't have a spy on Nico until the fourth quarter near the end of the game, and he had ran the ball all season for the most rushing yards for UCLA. We know he's athletic, we know he can run, and he was killing us with it during the game, and we didn't have a spy on him all game. I don't think this defensive scheme is good. I don't think it fits many of the players. I could say that about the offense and defense, so it's just not a few things this team needs to fix. They need to fix everything, and I don't see how they can fix all of this and then go on this magical run and beat Indiana, Ohio State, Iowa at night, Nebraska. I just don't see it happening. There's not much for me to say. That was just an inexcusable, horrible loss, and I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. And I think there's a good chance James Franklin will still be the coach next year and maybe the next few years. But I definitely see a world where within those next few years, he's not the head coach. And who knows, that could come as soon as the end of this year. I just don't think it's going to happen, but it is a conversation now. And it's like a real conversation now. Before it was a conversation, now it is actually real. Coaching was just inexcusable. At the end of the game, not rushing the punter so they could just let the clock go out when everyone knew that's what they were going to do. I was watching the TV and I knew that's what they were going to do. Why didn't the coaches know that's what they were going to do? Why didn't James make sure that we were going to rush the punter? Also, how did we let them just get an onside kick right at the beginning of the game? They caught us sleeping, caught us off guard, whatever, sure, but like that stuff just can't happen. It was just pathetic and embarrassing. So to me, the season is all but over. Like I would say 99% chance we don't make the playoffs, but yes, there is 1% chance that happens. So barring a miracle and somehow I don't even know that we just win every single game this year, rest of the games, which I don't think it's going to happen, then sure, we'll make the playoffs, but there's no way that happens. 9-3 even isn't going to be good enough, and we already have 2 losses, so you can pretty much guarantee a loss to Ohio State, and if we beat them, somehow if we beat Ohio State, I guarantee that we drop another random game like Indiana or Iowa or Nebraska just because. So a depressing season and not how you would expect it to go. I don't know what else to say. I don't think I can really come up with anything else to say right now. I'm honestly still in shock. I don't believe it. And it's been a couple of days at this point. So it still hasn't registered 100% to me. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on Franklin. If you think this season can be saved somehow and just where you think we go from here. So let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate everyone listening and tuning in. I know that we are all somewhat let down and in the dumps about this, but I'm still going to be making videos the rest of the season. And who knows, maybe there'll be some interesting things that happen, but we'll see. You know, the season's pretty much all but over in week 6 in a year that Penn State had national championship hopes and national championship expectations. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.